cracking performance. Say, do you want to teach me that dance? What do you think of this? Hey, I'm getting the hang of this, aren't I?
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Yep, we're doing this again. Welcome back, everyone, to Yeah Talks About Cuphead without actually talking about Cuphead. Well, I say that, but out of all the times I've talked about Cuphead adjacent media on this channel, this is going to be by far the closest I've ever gotten to talking about the actual game. That's because today we're taking a look at Cuphead Boss Fight Remakes. How I even came up with this video idea is kind of a story in itself, so allow me to take you through how we even got here. So, and this is gonna sound really irrelevant to the video topic at first, but stick with me here. I've been really addicted to
Geometry Dash.
I got into it shortly after I released my video in Toyland Tussle last year, and ignoring a month-long break I took from it, I've been playing the game very consistently. I don't even know how it happened. One day I just kept randomly getting spammed with videos about it on TikTok out of the blue, and on a whim, I decided to download the game on my phone. And then all of a sudden, 230 hours of my life were gone. So yeah, I might have a problem. Just putting this out there, the next video is 100% going to be about Geometry Dash and my whole experience with it. So get ready for that, because I sure do have things to say. Anyway, while I've been playing Geometry Dash, I've also been getting into watching a lot of GD content creators in my spare time, such as GD Colon. The reason I bring up him specifically is because my favorite video of his, by far, is his fantastic deep dive into shady web browser clones of Geometry Dash. I mean, you see these sketchy ass free game sites all the time and never really think twice about them. So seeing someone actually look into everything surrounding one is extremely fascinating. With that said though, Geometry Dash is a pretty simple game, at least on a surface level. It's way less simple when you boil down all the physics and everything, but most of these rip-off developers clearly don't care about that, so, ignoring that though, the basic gameplay and graphics of a game like Geometry Dash aren't anything too complex. I think we can all agree on that. However, this got me thinking, what would happen if these game sites tried to tackle something a bit more complicated, such as, I don't know, Cuphead? We got the video back on track, folks. Let's goddamn! You know, the game that has like a gazillion frames of hand-drawn animation and literally forced the creators to remortgage their entire house in order to afford to make the damn thing. You know, that game. Would these game sites even be able to create or steal anything even remotely close to the actual games? Well, that's what we're here to find out today, as I've taken it upon myself to scour the internet in search of any and all Cuphead boss fight recreations. Did I find anything of quality, or is it all bottom of the barrel slop? Let's find out. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, strap in. This is a story about government websites, scratch projects, places full of stolen games, and some of the worst Cuphead adjacent media I have ever played. Which, you know, is saying a lot coming from me. This is Terrible Cuphead Boss Fight Remakes. Also, make sure to subscribe, you know, so I can afford to make my own free game website full of nothing but stolen Cuphead scratch projects, and 15 identical copies of poker. Come on, I know you wanna. For the poker, of course. But first, this video is sponsored by Raycon. You know, there's quite a lot going on this month in the world of sports. The Super Bowl just happened a few days ago, and the Winter Olympics are happening right now. It's made me think a lot about my own workout goals for this year, and more importantly, just what kind of headphones I'm gonna wear to listen to all my favorite music while I'm accomplishing said goals. Lucky for both me and you, Raycon's got us covered in that department with their bone conduction headphones. They use off-ear audio, sending sound through vibrations in your bones. Your ears stay open to the world around you while you still get crystal clear music, podcasts, or calls. I've used them while on a walk before, and they are perfect for staying safe and being aware of your surroundings without compromising great sound. They're also built for all-day use, being both IP68 waterproof and dustproof, alongside having a 13-hour battery life. And here's the kicker, Raycon gives you premium performance without the premium price tag. Their quality rivals the big audio brands, but at half the cost. Plus, they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee, so you have nothing to lose trying out Raycon. The bone conduction headphones are here to help you go for gold. Go to buyraycon.com/uhyeahbc to get 15% off. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Okay, so the first order of business here was to actually search the web for various different Cuphead browser games. This, on paper, sounds fairly easy, but it actually ended up being a lot more difficult than I expected. For starters, there are basically 0 actual Cuphead remakes in the same way that there are multiple full-on remakes of Geometry Dash, for example. There are Cuphead-related games made by a few of these sites, but they're all a little bit, weird. We'll get to them a bit later, don't you worry. So, if the game websites themselves aren't making any Cuphead remakes, what is there to even talk about? Well, taking even one short look at the top links for Cuphead-free browser games online will quickly make you realize that 99% of the results all just lead to Scratch projects. Now, Scratch games are in a bit of a weird position when it comes to talking about them in a video like this one, because, of course, most of them are pretty bad. Like, duh. But that's fine. The majority of Scratch projects are made by amateur coders, just looking to get some practice in. So genuinely criticizing them in any serious way is almost completely pointless, especially when many of them are probably close to a decade old at this point. However, Scratch projects genuinely do take up like 99% of all Cuphead boss fight remakes on the internet, so I can't really just ignore them if I want to make this video. With that said though, I think just going on Scratch and endlessly scrolling through the thousands of Cuphead games is pretty low-hanging fruit, especially for a video like this. Something like this works way better for an unscripted video, such as the one I did a few years ago on FNAF Scratch games. And maybe I'll do that again with Cuphead someday, but that's not what this video is. So, I don't want to go out of my way to cherry pick bad Cuphead boss fight remakes from Scratch, but that pretty much leaves me with nothing to talk about. This would be an issue, but thankfully, I don't even need to go on Scratch to find these games. The game websites will do it for me. That's right, these free game websites just fucking steal Scratch projects for themselves and plop them online without any credit. While I think specifically going on Scratch and searching for these games is pretty pointless, I have no issue with putting the blame on these bum-ass websites for not only stealing these amateur projects, but also thinking they're even remotely good enough to be played by their users. I know the bar for content on the average free game website is pretty damn low, but going out of your way to both steal and host these bad Scratch projects is a whole other level of just not giving a shit. In fact, I can read these people that run these sites like a damn book. They see that there's no quote-unquote professionally made Cuphead browser clones and just resort to stealing stuff from Scratch to fill a void in their game library, with quite literally anything. Now all of a sudden, they can claim they have Cuphead games on their site and create a whole section for them. Isn't that fun? So yeah, we're going to talk about a handful of these Scratch remakes, but with the caveat that all the blame for their poor quality goes directly to the site hosting the games and not the original creators, who likely didn't ask for their Scratch projects to be put on there anyway. With all that said, all that's left to do now is actually find a website that has a good selection of both Scratch projects and other Cuphead related games. This took a bit, considering that a lot of these sites only host 1 or 2 Cuphead games each. Hell, in my search, I even ended up finding a link for Cuphead browser games on the fucking Government of Punjab website of all places. I am not kidding. Sadly, this link just would not work even after trying multiple ways to open it, but I am still insanely curious what this is even doing here. Apparently the AMS at the start of the URL stands for Audit Management System, so maybe the people working on the AMS in Punjab just really like Cuphead and have some secret link only they can access to play Cuphead browser games. This might be the motherlode of all Cuphead browser games I'm looking for, but alas, I'll never know. But if my theory is right, you guys should probably get this shit off Google search results ASAP, I'm not gonna lie. Eventually, after checking out a ton of different websites, I settled on one specific site to be the center of this video. Playgames.com. Very creative name, I know. Playgames.com is the most generic example of one of these free game websites I could have possibly asked for. It's got all the staples. FNAF games, Friday Night Funkin' mods, random Pokemon ROM hacks, fucking Roblox games somehow, and of course, Geometry Dash clones. They actually have their own custom version of the game that, controls as poorly as you probably think it does. Playgames.com even has their own mascot as well, which is featured all over the page in various different AI-generated images. Because of fucking course it is. Play any game from the selection of categories for 10 minutes, get 350 XP. Oh, no way, dude. I gotta tap in. Let's see what the categories are. Okay, we got boy, girl, I'm sorry, what the fuck is going on here? Alright, enough of that. Let's just get into the reason we're even on this website. The selection of Cuphead games. Do you like indie games? I mean, yeah, I think I do. Play the best Cuphead games online to help the two brothers who have cup space heads to redeem their souls. Cool, I guess I'll do that. So here's the Cuphead section. It's actually pretty small, only consisting of 9 different games and remakes. But trust me when I say, this was the biggest selection on any single website I could find. So we're going with it. 5 out of the 9 games here are scratch remakes of various bosses in Cuphead. So we're gonna start with them first. And what better way to kick this off than by taking a look at a remake of the very first boss in the entire game, the Root Pack. Or as it's called on playgames.com, Cuphead and the Root Pack. Here we go. Cuphead's new adventure leads him to face one big boss after another, since it is the only way he can repay his debt to the devil, and you now have to defeat a live potato and the Root Pack that follows him, in another amazing cartoon-inspired fighting and action game you are surely going to love. Whoa, hey now! Don't get me too excited. I don't know if I can contain myself. Let's just boot this up.
A great slam and then some. Here goes.
Oh my. Oh, okay. Alright, I refuse to believe this is the best remake of this fight that the people running this site could find. For being the literal first boss of the original game, you'd think it would be top priority to try and find something, anything more accurate. This is literally just some random ass project probably made by a child 7 years ago. Like, genuinely, what are we doing? Obviously, the graphics just being directly ripped and comically compressed from the original game is one thing, but there are some other glaring issues with this remake that playgames.com chose. For starters, and I'm not even remotely kidding here, there are no left and right movement controls in this remake. I swear to God, I tried everything. The site even says to use the arrow keys, but nothing I did worked. You can jump, however, which I guess works fine for the first phase, since all you're doing is jumping over obstacles coming directly towards you in a straight line. But what about the other 2 phases? They both require the player to move back and forth in both small and large amounts, which is kind of an issue when, you know, you can't move at all. Don't tell me the people choosing games for this website not only picked one of the lowest quality remakes possible, but also picked one where the other 2 phases aren't included, right? And the Root Pack that follows it. So yeah, the fight just ends like that. It's only the potato. I'm sure this project was a nice little bit of coding practice for whoever made it, but in the context of this being presented as a full web port of the original boss fight, this is genuinely insane. Remember earlier when I said we found a whole new level of not giving a shit? This probably one-ups it, I'm not gonna lie. Like, what are we actually doing here, guys? Well, that's pretty much it for this one. Next, here we have Playgames.com's offering for a remake of another iconic Cuphead boss, Goopy Legrand. Is it Goopy Legrande? Grand? I don't hold on.
Goopy Legrande.
Is it Grande? It must be hold on.
Goopy Legrande.
I don't know, man. Has Google Translate ever lied to anyone? We're gonna go with that. Goopy Legrande. You could argue that getting this fight right is even more important than getting the Root Pack fight right, considering that like 80% of the people who've casually played or watched someone play Cuphead probably think that he's the first boss. I can't really blame people for thinking that, considering he's literally placed closer to the player when they enter the world map than the Root Pack is, for some reason. But whatever, that doesn't matter right now. Let's play this remake. One of the features of this website that I haven't talked about yet is the comment section. Any soul who's brave enough to make an account is given the exclusive privilege of being able to comment on games, basically the same way you're able to comment on YouTube videos. Now, the comment sections on these Cuphead games are pretty dry. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. However, some of them do have comments, including this remake of Ruse of a News. Well, I say comments, but it's actually only one. And it's someone who couldn't figure out how to get Cuphead to shoot bullets. So you know we're in for a high quality experience here. Enough stalling, let's load into this remake.
A real high-class bout. It's on.
Alright, so right off the bat, this is a completely different kind of experience than the previous remake. Well, that one tried to be faithful to the original game by using the actual sprites. Kind of. This remake opts to instead use custom assets, which are actually pretty cute. You can actually move around in this one, so we're already doing better than last time, but there are still some very odd details about this remake that, once again, bring into question why the people running this site even decided to choose it. For starters, this remake shares the exact same issue with the previous one in that it only features the first phase of the fight. This, once again, is fine in the context of the Scratch project itself, but is utterly bizarre as a game to be featured on this website. This becomes even more egregious when you realize that the thumbnail used for this remake features a screenshot of the second phase of the fight. So you're literally being lied to twice when you click on this game. Once because it uses a screenshot of the original game, which this is very much not, and twice because said screenshot is from a part of the boss fight you can't even play. Bravo, playgames.com. Bravo. Thankfully, this is the last time this is an issue, as the remaining 3 Scratch remakes actually feature the full fights. Somehow. I don't know how they did it, considering it was so goddamn hard for them to steal more complete Scratch projects for these fights, or just, you know, not include them if there weren't any better alternatives, but whatever, man, it's better than nothing. Anyway, to call back to the comment left on this remake that I brought up earlier, the shooting in this project is also another glaring issue. I definitely don't blame the guy in the comments for not figuring out how to shoot, because for some reason it's binded to the S key of all places when you're already using WASD for movement. And, you know, I think the S key is supposed to be used for something else, but I just can't put my finger on it. So yeah, cute enough as a little Scratch project, but as a hand-picked game from the playgames.com team, I mean, come on guys. Seriously? Okay, the next 2 remakes I'm actually gonna lump together into one section, those being the remakes of both the Hilda Berg and Ribby and Croaks boss fights. I am like 100% sure these are made by the same person, and despite looking like, these are actually pretty solid for what they are. They both feature the complete fights, basically all the mechanics, and even a fully functional parry and supercard system. Obviously, they're not amazing or anything, but I don't think that really matters for something like this. They play well enough, all things considered. There's actually a lot of charm in hitting Hilda Berg with a full super attack, only for the resulting explosion to just be this. Like, come on, that's pretty funny. The worst part about these by far is the weirdly inconsistent sprite quality for the bosses and their attacks. Like, some of the boss sprites look fine, but the others are either super poorly cropped or look like this. I think whoever made these remakes just found the default sprites for each boss on Google Images and cropped out the rest themselves from game footage or something. But overall, these are fine and probably good enough to be featured on the prestigious playgames.com Cuphead section. I know the bar is literally in hell, but you know what? We're gonna take the W's where we get them. And surprisingly, this quality increase actually continues upwards with the final Scratch remake on this website. That being a remake of the Wally Warbolts boss fight. For a Scratch remake, I think this is probably the highest quality you can get. Not only is the full fight here, but the plane physics feel pretty damn good, and the sprites have all been accurately transferred over to Scratch without straight up copy and pasting them from the original game. It honestly looks great. There's also a bunch of new additions here as well, like more custom bullet types for the plane, a restored cut feature of the fight where some of Wally's feathers would be parryable, and even, as far as I can tell, a fully original addition to the third phase of the fight where these bomber birds come up at the top of the screen and try and hit you as they fly by. That last part's pretty cool, but it also kind of feels like those Peppa Pig images, like, who is this? But yeah, honestly, I was shocked after playing this. I was fully expecting all these remakes to be varying levels of meh, but this one is genuinely great. I sure hope all the non-remakes we're gonna talk about after this are also great. Oh no. So, after playing this remake, I knew I couldn't simply just move on from it. I had to find out who actually made this and give them proper credit. Of course, Playgames.com has zero credit to the original creator anywhere, so looking around the page was a complete waste of time. Thankfully though, it didn't take very long for me to find the original creator just by searching keywords into Google. And so, the creator is a Scratch user known as Pizza Gut, and they actually have a pretty decent handful of Cuphead boss fight recreations on their account that are all equally as good. The Wally Warbles fight even gets frequent updates that aren't present on the Playgames.com stolen copy, such as extra challenges and the addition of charms that affect gameplay. This version also has credits, which are completely absent in the stolen copy. How convenient. So yeah, if you ever want to try out any of these remakes for fun, I highly recommend giving these a try, if you're interested. Super high quality stuff here. Well, I wasn't expecting to end this section on a positive note, but I'm definitely not complaining. I'm actually in a pretty decent mood right now. I don't think anything could bring me down. Oh yeah, we have to talk about these. Yay. Yes, as you already know, these scratch remakes are only half the picture when it comes to playgames.com. It wouldn't be a complete video if we didn't talk about their collection of quote-unquote original Cuphead games. Thankfully, there are less of these, coming in at only 4. And we can actually knock that down to 3 because Cuphead 3D wouldn't let me get past the title screen, no matter what I did. Yo, what's up? Yeah, from the future here. I went to go record more footage of the title screen, and for some reason I got it to work, so I was able to play it. It's just a remake of the first Run and Gun level in 3D. It's not that bad, but the camera is really finicky, and I just don't have that much to say about it, so, yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. Oh, actually, I also gotta mention this soldier in the comment section who was part of the script that I had to cut because this works. His PC crashed from the graphics from playing it, and he has a gummy bear PFP. Kind of a goat, so shout out to that guy. That leaves us with 3 whole games to check out, and we're saving this one for last. So how about we start with Cuphead Rush? I mean, the thumbnail is Cuphead in the snow on a sled, which looks kind of fun, so maybe this won't be so bad, right? Right? Oh, no, it's fine. It's just that maybe I wanted a little game where you slide down a snowy mountain as Cuphead. But no, it's okay. Bootleg Sonic Runners is fine too. That's not an exaggeration or anything either. Not only is the gameplay very similar to the defunct mobile game, just significantly worse feeling, obviously, but the music used here is straight up ripped from it as well. Whoever on the kiz10.com team picked the music for this game has some serious ball knowledge, because that OST is literally 10 out of 10. I mean, like... With that said though, would it not have made more sense to use, oh, I don't know, music from Cuphead? Most of it is upbeat and would have fit an auto runner just fine. And it would have also helped make this game feel even the slightest bit more like it's trying to actually be a Cuphead game. Other than the various ripped assets scattered around the maps in the game, everything else here is the most generic possible mobile game assets you could think of. I did a very quick check on the kiz10.com website to see if any of the other games were using the same structure, but I couldn't find anything, which shocked me, because if this doesn't look like a template with a bunch of Cuphead stuff thrown onto it, I don't know what does. As for the actual game, it's okay. Like I said, it's basically just a worse version of Sonic Runners, without all the cool shit that makes that game cool. But if you thought this was a lazy attempt at a Cuphead game, just wait for the next game on the chopping block, Cuphead Halloween. Yep. This is the entire game. Somehow, Cuphead Halloween looks even more like a template than the last one. And we're now at the point where the list of things here actually related to Cuphead is getting shorter and shorter. We have a very odd looking Cuphead, of course, but we also have Cagney Carnation PNGs on both sides of the screen. That's right, 2 of them. And we also have some weird bootleg version of the original game's logo on these doors. And that's it. As for gameplay, I don't know, man. You run back and forth and bump into walls and try to collect everything and get to an exit. It's the most basic, mind-numbing shit you've probably seen a million times already on these sites. Good job picking this one, playgames.com. It's a real home run. This will fit nicely in your catalog of 4,123 boy games. Actually, come to think of it, there are no watermarks or anything on Cuphead Halloween. So this might be a playgames.com original production. And if that's the case, y'all should stick to stealing shit. Okay, we have finally made it to the last game on this page, and I've saved the most popular for last. This is the only game in the Cuphead section that's rocking 100,000 plays. And of course, it's mascot horror related, because of course it is. There's actually a bit of backstory for this game, so allow me to take you back to the year 2018. In February of that year, the YouTuber and musician DA Games released a music video for his Cuphead song called Brothers in Arms. Now, I actually never watched this as a kid, so I don't have any nostalgia for it or anything, but it has a crazy 141 million views, so clearly I'm in the minority here. The actual music video is an exceptionally well animated fake Cuphead boss fight against the mascot horror juggernauts of the era, aka the Puppet, the Neighbor, and the Ink Demon, which is the most 2018 shit of all time. If going by the top comment on this video means anything, it seems like a lot of kids back in the day who watched this were tricked into believing it was a real Cuphead fight they could play, which I can't even blame them for. The animation work here is spot on. Thankfully, we live in the future now, and there exists a fan remake of this very music video as an actual playable Cuphead boss fight. So, you're probably wondering, is it any good? Well, it's complicated. So this was created by masking out the various different animations from the music video and converting them into sprite sheets for the game to use. The end result looks a little rough, but it's not a big deal. I think it's actually serviceable, all things considered. So, if I don't have an issue with how it looks, what the hell could my problem with this remake be? Well, have you noticed how fucking fast Cuphead is in this footage yet? Because you probably have. Cuphead moves so fast that doing pretty much anything just immediately puts you in harm's way. Mix that with this stupid ass pizza slice attack that is almost impossible to properly dodge at these high speeds, and I'm sorry, but this is literally unplayable. I couldn't get past this first section. It's just way too unbalanced. And I'd rather not subject myself to grinding away at this for hours just to see a questionably cropped out Theodore Masters Peterson. This baffled me so much that I went out to search for other copies of the game online to see if it was maybe just playgames.com that fucked it up somehow. But nope. Of the few uploads that I played, they all played like this. I was seriously about to just leave this segment here and end the video, but on a whim, I decided to check out the YouTube channel of the person who made this game. There, they have a video showcasing the game from 2019. And guess what? It's normal speed. So genuinely, I have no idea what's going on here. But I don't think it's the fault of the developer at all. I even checked all the comments on this video, and only one single person brought up the fact that the game was too fast. From 4 years ago. So maybe just me and this guy have cursed computers that can't play the game. If anyone has any idea what the hell is going on here, let me know in the comments, because I'm stumped. Anyway, I think it's probably time to wrap this up. This video was way more of a roller coaster than I thought it'd be when I initially came up with the idea, but I'm kinda glad I was able to play both the good and bad of the Cuphead browser offerings. As for playgames.com, thanks for your service today, but I will never be visiting you again, probably. Who knows, maybe I'll have to do this again someday for another series, but only time will tell. For now though, we're finished. The divorce papers will be on your doorstep in a month. It's not you, it's me. Wait, no, it's entirely you actually, fuck you. Tune in next time when I go on a journey to get my username on Geometry Dash changed from yeah bruv to just yeah. Yo, can anyone help me out with that, or I've been yeah, and I'll see you all next time.